Spider-Man and Chance dive into action right here on Comic of the Day, here on Comic Evolution. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 299, written by David Michelinie with beautiful interior artwork by Todd McFarlane. Now, this is the second cameo appearance of Venom. We all know what his first appearance is, but things are starting to heat up here in the Amazing Spider-Man title, and Spider-Man's most popular villain, arguably, is about to make his first appearance. Fair market value for this book raw is $100 with a CGC 9.8, going for $360. If you like this type of content, hit the like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Mr. Fear makes his debut on Comic of the Day, right here on Comic Evolution. This is Daredevil number 6, all the way back from 1965, written by Stan Lee with artwork by the amazingly talented Wally Wood. Now, this is the first appearance of Mr. Fear, Zoltan Drago, and I don't think we've seen him in much else past this. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section below, please. Fair market value for a high-grade raw goes for about $332, with a CGC 8.0 nearing about that same, but just a little bit more at $350. If you like this type of content, hit the like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time. One of the coolest grails I have seen in person lands right here on Comic of the Day on Comic Evolution. This is Malibu Sun number 13, back in 1992, and this was the monthly preview of upcoming books under the Malibu Comics umbrella, and Image Comics was part of that. They were the distributor. This is the early preview of Spawn, predates Spawn number 1 by probably a week or two at best. High grade fair market value for this book is $3.99, and that's just for the regular copy. There is a negative space kind of color separation on the back that goes for a heck of a lot more. This CGC 9.2 copy goes for $490 or more. That is insane, ladies and gentlemen. If you like this type of content, please hit the like, share, and subscribe. We'd love to have you, and we will see you next time. Season 2 of Wednesday is out on Netflix right now, and what better way to get you even more excited than to have the Addams Family make their debut on Comic of the Day right here on Comic Evolution. This is the Addams Family number 1, all the way back from 1974, and this has artwork by Bill Ziegler with letters by Bill Spicer. Now, this is the first appearance of the Addams Family in a standard format comic book. Before that, they were in comic strips in the New Yorker in black and white, where Wednesday made her first appearance. High grade fair market value for this book is about $200 or more, with the CGC 9.8 going for upwards of $1,300. That's crazy, guys. If you like this type of content, hit the like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time. The master of the mystic arts makes his way to Comic of the Day right here on Comic Evolution. This is Doctor Strange Volume 2, number 1 from 1974. Written by Steve Englehart with beautiful artwork by Frank Berner and Dick Giordano. Now, this is the first solo series of Doctor Strange. Before this, he was in Strange Tales, which eventually became Doctor Strange, and this is Volume 2, number 1. Also, this is the first appearance of Silver Dagger. High grade fair market value for this book runs about $75 raw, with a CGC 9.2 going for $200 or more. Guys, if you like this type of content, hit the like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time. It's amazing, it's adult, it's fantasy, and we've got it right here for you on Comic of the Day, here on Comic Evolution. This is Amazing Fantasy number 12, written by Stan Lee with beautiful artwork by the legendary Steve Ditko. Now, this is the debut of Stan Lee's letter column called Mailbag. There are also cameos of Stan Lee and Steve Ditko in this story, and can you tell me who makes an amazing first appearance 3 issues from now? High grade fair market value for this book runs about $700 raw, with a CGC 9.0 going for about $1,500 or more. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like this type of content, please hit the like, share, and subscribe. We'd love to have you. We will see you next time. In this issue, everybody dies. We've got Uncanny X-Men number 142 right here for Comic of the Day on Comic Evolution. This awesome story was written by Chris Claremont with beautiful artwork by John Byrne and Terry Austin, the pinnacle X-Men creative team, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is the second part of the epic Days of Future Past storyline. This was the inspiration for the X-Men movie that came out not too long ago. Deaths of Wolverine, Colossus, and Storm in an alternate reality. If you have not read this, I highly recommend it. This has to be on your X-Men must-read list. High-grade fair market value for this book runs about $55 raw, with the CGC 9.8 going for upwards of $350 or more. If you like this type of content, please hit the like, share, and subscribe. We'd love to have you. We'll see you next time. The Man of Steel comes crashing into Comic of the Day right here on Comic Evolution. This is Superman Volume 2, number 214, all the way back in April of 2005. This is written by Brian Azzarello with awesome artwork by Jim Lee and his forever inker, Scott Williams. Now this is part 11 of the 12-part For Tomorrow epic that was done by Brian Azzarello and Jim Lee. And previous to this, another major storyline was done with Jim Lee, and that was Batman Hush. Ladies and gentlemen, near mint signed fair market value for this book runs about $50 raw, with the CGC Signature Series 9.8 going for about $110. If you like this type of content, please hit the like, share, and subscribe. We'd love to have you. We'll see you next time. One of Spider-Man's deadliest villains makes his way to Comic of the Day right here on Comic Evolution. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 361, written by David Michelinie with awesome artwork by Mark Bagley and Randy Emberlin. Now this is the first full appearance of Carnage in the 90s, and this here starts a 3-issue storyline that introduces the character, causes tons of chaos and havoc, and eventually leads into the epic that is Maximum Carnage. Ladies and gentlemen, fair market value unsigned for this book is about $65 raw, with a CGC 9.8 Signature Series with those two signatures there running about $500 or more. That's insane. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like this type of content, please hit the like, share, and subscribe. We'd love to have you, and we will see you next time. What if the Hulk killed Wolverine? That's the cover right here on Comic of the Day, here on Comic Evolution. This is What If number 50, written by John Arcudi with artwork by Armando Gil. Now, back in the late 80s, there was an Incredible Hulk issue that we all know and love, Incredible Hulk number 340, Wolverine and the Hulk duke it out. That cover has been homaged a million times, and we've seen it in Deadpool and Wolverine. Well, here in the 90s, in this major Marvel title, they answer the question of what if the Hulk killed Wolverine? And look at that awesome chromium cover. Near mint fair market value for this book, guys, is $12 raw, with a CGC 9.8 going for about $82. If you like this type of content, hit the like, share, and subscribe. We'd love to have you, and we will see you next time. Who remembers this version of Superman? We've got Superman Volume 2, number 123 for our Comic of the Day, right here on Comic Evolution. This story was written by Dan Jurgens with awesome interior artwork and that beautiful cover by Ron Frenz and Joe Rubinstein. Now, this is the debut of the electric blue Superman costume. Take away the classic Superman that we knew and loved at this time. He'd gone through Doomsday and all that other stuff, Reign of Superman, and they do this to him. Controversial, a lot of people hated it, but there is that small group of people that actually thought it was really cool. I am not one of them. Fair market value for this book runs about $8 raw, with the CGC 9.8 going for about $120. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like this type of content, please hit the like, share, and subscribe. We would love to have you, and we will see you next time. The dawn of the summer comic book blockbuster lands on Comic of the Day right here on Comic Evolution. This is Marvel Superhero Secret Wars number 1, written by Jim Shooter with artwork by Mike Zeck and John Beatty. All legends in the field. This is the 2024 facsimile Drew Zucker exclusive, first cameo of the Beyonder. Guys, if you have not read this, this is on the must-read list, or it should be at least, of everybody that reads comic books. Yeah, it's dated from the 80s, but this sets the tone for every summer comic book blockbuster that comes after this. And what a tone it sets! 12 issues, major heroes, major villains, Galactus, and the Beyonder, duking it out for the ultimate prize. You gotta read it if you haven't. Ladies and gentlemen, near mint fair market value for this book runs about $25 raw, with a CGC 9.8 shooting at upwards of about $200 or more. If you like this type of content, please hit the like, share, and subscribe. We would love to have you. We will see you next time. Is Fortnite still a thing? Do we like Fortnite? Because we've got an awesome homage cover coming right here on Comic of the Day here on Comic Evolution. This is Fortnite X Marvel Zero War, written by Christos Engage, awesome name, with artwork by Sergio Davila and Sean Parsons. Now, Marvel Superhero Secret Wars number 8 has been homaged a million times, and this is no exception to how cool it is. Check out this awesome, beautiful artwork by Ron Lynn. Absolutely gorgeous. Fortnite's huge, Marvel's huge. It was a matter of time before they collabed into a comic book, and the time that the game was out, me and my son were playing when Galactus was revealed. That was absolutely amazing. Near mint fair market value for this book is $5 raw, with a CGC 9.8 running upwards of $60. If you like this type of content, hit the like, share, and subscribe. We would love to have you, and don't forget, we have a 200 subscriber giveaway. Head over to the YouTube channel to find out how you can enter in to win. We'll see you next time. We have got 2 first appearances for you on Comic of the Day right here on Comic Evolution. This is Avengers number 28, all the way back from 1966. Written by Stan Lee with beautiful interior artwork by Don Heck and Frank Giacoia. Now, while I give you some information, enjoy this awesome Jack Kirby cover. This is the first appearance of the Collector. Benicio del Toro played him in the MCU and did an amazing performance. This is also the first appearance of Hank Pym as Goliath. Pretty cool, right? I love this book. I love these classic covers, and I think a 7.5 right there is an awesome grade for something like this. Mid-grade fair market value for this book runs about $60 raw, with a CGC 7.5 right here going for upwards of $175. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like this type of content, please hit the like, share, and subscribe. We would love to have you. And we also have a 200 subscriber giveaway. Head over to the main part of the channel, comment on the pinned video there, and enter in to win. We'll see you next time. We all love first appearances, but let's talk about those second appearances right here for Comic of the Day on Comic Evolution. This is Strange Adventures number 206, all the way back from 1967, written by Arnold Drake with interior artwork by Neil Adams and George Roussos. Now, this is the second appearance of Deadman. Check out that beautiful cover by Mike Sekowsky. First appearance of Deadman goes back the issue previous to 205. That is a huge deal, big major key. If you have that, awesome. But if you don't have it, these beautiful second appearances are great to have in your collection. Mid-grade fair market value for this book runs about $80 raw, with a CGC 9.0 going for a whopping $799. Insane, guys. If you like this type of content, hit the like, share, and subscribe. We would love to have you, and we will see you next time. While Batman fights the Squid, we are going to talk about why that is not important to this book at all. This is Batman Volume 1, number 357, all the way back from March of 1983. Written by Jerry Conway with awesome interior artwork by Don Newton and Alfredo P. Alcala. Now, this is the first full appearance of Jason Todd and Killer Croc. Now, I understand that that is debatable. Now, this issue cited as the first full appearance of Killer Croc, but there's really no difference in the depiction of him as a gangster with a fedora, trench coat, and all that stuff seen in Detective Comics number 523, which was released a month earlier. In Detective 524, it is revealed for the first time that he has the crocodile features. And also, this version of Jason Todd has almost no relevance or visual accuracy to what he is later on in the Batman stories, and his origin is retconned in issue number 408. Lots of information there, and this book is a major key in the fact that CGC recognizes this as the first full appearance of both Killer Croc and Jason Todd, even though their depictions are changed later on in Batman canon. Near mint fair market value for this book runs about $60 raw, with the CGC 9.8 going for a staggering $550. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like this type of content, please hit the like, share, and subscribe. We would love to have you, and we will see you next time.